Thought maybe we would take a little divergence right now and actually show you some pictures of some of the students that have been working with us. Some of these students I've had for over 10 years, and we've been able to work with them on their arthritis issues and actually have been able to have them delay, or hopefully right now postponing, any kind of surgical intervention. So we're going to show you some pictures. The first one we're going to show you is Carl. So these pictures will be up on the screen, but Justine and I are going to be looking at them right here. So if we look at Carl, I took this picture just yesterday, and I said, Carl, go and stand against the wall, and he very appropriately complied, and looks like he's standing at attention, doesn't he? And notice that he is definitely bow-legged, right? You can see that. You can see the space between his knees and his ankles are touching. And I asked him, I said, is that a comfortable stance for you? And he says, no, it really kind of hurts. I said, well, how about if you just separate your feet a little bit so they're maybe a little more hip width apart? And he says, oh my gosh, that makes such a big difference. And I'm thinking, why did he think that proper standing posture is with his ankles together? So you can see how he can be aggravating this condition over many, many years because he thought this was the right way to stand, right? So when he's standing in the middle, it even looks like his alignment just automatically got a little bit better. But then I put a block in between his knees to give him that sensation of what does that feel like when you actually draw your knees in toward each other and make them a little bit more parallel. And you know where he felt it? He felt it on the outside of his hips, because those were the muscles that were kind of pulling him externally outward, and we needed to strengthen those and pull him a little internally inward. So I'm going to turn it over to Justine to give a couple of opinions on what she's thinking about Carl's alignment.
I think it's interesting. First of all, the first time someone told me in Warrior One or Tadasana or anything like that that I could have my feet hip width apart, I almost kissed them, because I used to feel bow-legged trying to keep my feet together, and so that's just much healthier. That structure of stacking the joints, it takes so much ease into our body rather than fighting it. And Carl stated he didn't feel the work in his adductors, his inner thighs. He felt it really in his hips. But for him, his knees are wider and he's wanting to come more to the midline. So he focuses on internally rotating his hips, which helps to straighten out the legs. And will even, I can feel that even when I said that, even elongate the whole body, because we have a tendency to let gravity affect us. And I catch myself all the time, even standing, where I'm not really engaging and standing up, stacking those joints and defying gravity, really.
Mm-hmm. So Carl's in his mid-80s. He works in the garden. He volunteers at the library. He was a former airline pilot. He's very, very active. He doesn't let his bow legs stop him at all. And he's very dedicated to his chair yoga. He comes twice a week. And he's feeling good. He says he has no pain in his knees, only when he stands with his ankles touching. So we're going to go on to Marilyn. Marilyn has been with me for over a decade. She came when she was in her 70s, and now she's in her late 80s, and she's doing amazing. And she just told me yesterday when I took this picture of her that she's been so proud of herself not getting knee replacements. The doctors look at her and say, oh my gosh, I think you need some knee replacements. She says, I really don't want to. I'm working with my yoga to make sure that I keep myself strong and resilient. And she is faithfully in every single chair yoga class that I teach, which is twice a week. So we'll look a little bit at her. You can see when she's standing naturally, her knees are touching, right? She's very knock-kneed. And she was a tennis player back in the day. And any of those sports that require that lateral movement, right? Basketball, Justine knows, she was a basketball player. Soccer, tennis, anything that requires that shifting back and forth. Even sometimes some dances do that, right? So we have to be aware of that. That is part of my issue, and I will be talking about it a little bit more in my series, where I have a little bit weak inner knees because of something that I had done as well. So what I did is I said, okay, Marilyn, we're gonna put a little block between your legs and let's see how that feels. Well, first of all, look at that. She can actually have a little space between her knees. She says that feels amazing, right? So she sees that the work there is going to be in opening her legs, using her adductor muscles, those internal thigh muscles to strengthen and kind of pull outward a little bit, getting those external hip rotators to move a little bit the femur in her socket. So her work is much, much different, right, than Carl's work. But the whole point is, no matter what your structure is, both of these people are in their 80s and they still can be active, they can go to chair yoga, they can see their grandkids, they can travel without having to worry about being in a wheelchair because they have arthritis in their knees or issues with their knees. So you want to make some comments about Marilyn here?
First of all, Marilyn's one of my heroes. She amazes me. And Marilyn's one of those people you can look at. It might be hard to see in the picture, but the shape of her ankle has actually changed because the osteoarthritis has advanced so much. But she doesn't give up. She shows up, she tries, she practices. And in the beginning, when she came to my classes, I would really encourage her, if something doesn't feel good, don't do it. She takes care of herself really well and pushes herself. So she's found that magic balance. And I'm thrilled for her because knee replacements are amazing if you desperately need them. And for some people, it really catapults their quality of life. But there's also risks to them. They don't always work. They aren't always successful. It's major surgery. So every system in the body is going to be threatened in a way. And really, it all comes down to what's right for you. You know, as in your person, she desperately doesn't want to get the knee replacements. So it's our honor to help her avoid that and teach her things, because she comes to classes twice a week, but she's doing stuff at home too.
Right.
And she's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's 87 now. She's just amazing, you guys. So
Yeah.
she's kind of our hero. Definitely. We have a soft spot for Marilyn. Then the next one is Pat. She's been with me probably, 11 years. She started at the library class with me, and now she comes to the studio for even more yoga. And has amazing alignment. To me, she's like the epitome of, wow, if I could look like that when I'm 80-something years old, right? She has very, very little pain anywhere. But she started yoga when she was in her 40s. Did you know that? Yeah. So she was, she was always mindful that she saw the elders in her world slowly degrade, fall over, right? Their joints collapsing on them, and she vowed never to be like that when she got to be an elder. And look at her, it came true. She did the work, and she continues to do the work. She's a very active lady. She travels a lot. She walks a lot. So Justine and I are definitely not against joint replacements. My dad had a double knee replacement at the same time. My mom had a knee replacement. My sister had a knee replacement. I surely am not against knee replacements, but we honor all our students who want to do anything they can to strengthen their joints, and if it doesn't work, then they'll get the knee replacement. So yoga is something that will help surely strengthen your joints, strengthen your structure, make you feel strong and sturdy again.